Hello, everybody. This is Coach Jim Kaspari. Welcome to Business Profit Acceleration Group Coaching. This is where we create unlimited profits and more free time to do what you love. Our motto is just start it. You guys know what I like to do for fun. When you get stuck or you feel rejected or down, remember why you're doing this. What would you do with more money? What would you do with more free time? And as always, the success formula is be here on time, be open-minded, coachable, playful out, do your homework. We've had some incredible results already. This is a positive and supportive environment. It's also a place where you can be honest and vulnerable. It's safe and confidential. If you ever feel like you shared something and I'm recording and you don't want it on the YouTube channel, let me know and we'll edit that out. So today we're talking about ideal target market. And when you talk to marketing people, you hear this all the time. Why are they harping on the ideal target market? Well, the reason is because a lot of people do spaghetti marketing. Who knows what spaghetti marketing is? You just try something, you throw it against the wall and see what sticks. That's how most people do marketing. And we're going to do a number of things. We're going to really narrow down the ideal target market. At any one point in time, there's only 3 or 4% of the population that wants, needs, and can afford what we have to offer. Like if you're in a tire business, there's a ton of people out there driving around that don't need tires. But the ones that do, we want to market to them. So the result of having a narrow target market and well-defined target market is you're going to get at least 5-fold return on investment from this one exercise. So if we take the 80-20 rule, who are 20% of the population or 10% or 5%, if you want extra credit and want to do better, that want, need, and are willing to pay for what you have to offer? Who has a problem that you can solve? Who has a dream that you can help them achieve? The biggest mistake that people make in not narrowing down their target market, the reason they don't do it is because they want to help everybody. And they have fear of missing out, FOMO. The other thing I want to mention is just because you narrow down your target market, like let's just say Venice with Sarasette can help people with PTSD, and she can, and her team can. And she chose military, and then she specifically chose Navy, and for whatever reason. And does that mean she couldn't help out Army men or women? Does it mean she couldn't help out police people or emergency responders? Absolutely not. Does it mean that a business coach couldn't use her services because he had a traumatic childhood? Absolutely not. So there is no, the FOMO has no validity. But this is good marketing strategy. Now, most people define their target market. This visual cracks me up. I don't know why there's like angry, sad, worried, squishy balls. But anyway, we want the happy ones. We want our ideal clients. Demographically is what age range are they? And again, be as narrow as possible. Is it one sex over the other sex, like 80% women? Where do they live? That's geographics. You want to get your target market so well defined that you know what websites they go to, what are their hobbies, where would they go to find information for products or services like yours. And then the real magic comes with psychographics. And psychographics is the equivalent of walking a mile in their moccasin, in their mental moccasins.
Mm.
So what are their worries? What are their problems or challenges? Let me go to the next slide, because this really shows what we're after. This helps, like if somebody had PTSD, but they're functioning normally, I don't know, like there are people that psychologically, whatever they're dealing with, they're not worried about, they're not bothering them. So what is the biggest problem or challenge that you can help them with? What's the biggest passion or dream that you can help them achieve? I know I've given this example before, but I had a client in Austin, Texas that did raw food preparation, education, help people with shopping. And she marketed like crazy. She's like Chris, just out there, reaching out, selling, marketing, day after day. And she wasn't getting results. And I kept asking her, what, this raw food thing is great. And God bless you for doing this. And, what are people saying? And she said, well, people are saying it's too expensive. They're worried it's going to taste like cardboard. It's too much time and effort. And I said, well, who has the biggest problem or challenge that it would make those things diminished or go away and make the sale easier for you and get people signing up for your workshops or your shopping or services? And we did a few coaching sessions, and she kept saying, really, I want to help everybody. This is good for everybody. And this section of ideal target market, the problem piece or the opportunity piece, I had a marketing mentor that calls this aspirin marketing versus vitamin marketing. And if you have a healthy teenager and you try to sell them really the best vitamins on the market, they're not going to be interested because mentally they're not irresistible. Maybe they're irresistible, but they're what's the word I'm looking for?
Indestructible?
Indestructible. Yeah.
Invincible.
Thank you. And but if that same teenager, super healthy, had a migraine and you had a pill that you could give them that would make the migraine go away and their darkness and depression and pain would go away, that would be an easy sell. So this isn't ambulance chasing, it's not knife twisting, but we really do want to help the people where they are, and where you can take them to is the biggest delta or the biggest change. That's the easiest sell. And so finally she was kind of worn out, and she listened to the question again, and she said, oh my God, cancer survivors are afraid of it coming back. Like, that's a big fear, and it's a great cause to have people stay in remission is, for years or maybe decades. What a wonderful purpose, and what a wonderful way to make a difference. And for them, altering their shopping, altering their diet may not be that big a deal. And her business took off. And the other reason it took off is because she could have some hyper targeted marketing tactics. She could have people that helped her, like oncology nurses or cancer survivor support groups.
Mm-hmm. Mhm.
right? So see how narrowing down, it helps with your message. It helps with the making a bigger difference on the planet. And it helps make the sale easier. And it helps choose tactics that work better. I'm totally open to any questions on ideal target market. I think the other question is, who do you really want to work with? And who do you not want to work with ever again? It's really important to define that. Corinne, did you have a comment? No?
No, I just was thinking
It's just flashing back.
of a few people that I could put into that category.
And without, obviously don't say any names, but what were the behaviors that you didn't like?
Well, there's always an arrogant behavior, or I've tried it all. I don't need your stuff, or whatever.
Okay.
I think one thing I want to just mention with the dialogue that you just had about the raw foods person, as you were talking, and I don't know if anyone else experienced this, but as you narrow that market, it's kind of like my visual is that when you want to help everybody, you're kind of holding and balancing this huge boulder on top of your head. And when you mentioned the fact when you narrow that down, and all of a sudden you're going after cancer patients who are in survivor mode or something, and then all of a sudden it's like the rock just kind of falls away, and the weight that you've been carrying to try and service all those people gets to be, it almost has more momentum, because now it has a new purpose. It has a more solid purpose. And so we become lighter in our thought process and more energetic. That's just what it happened to me when you were talking about that.
That is a beautiful visual. Thank you. And I'm just going to ask some questions. So if you're taking notes, we'll do a little brainstorming exercise. And just to finish up on the who you don't want to work with. So you said people that are egotistical, people that are closed-minded, or know everything. So take those characteristics and turn them upside down. And that'll help you define who you do want to work with. Like I always say, I want to work with people that want help, that want to grow, that are open-minded, they're willing to get out of their comfort zone, and they're willing to do their homework. So it's really clear, because I don't want to coach somebody that I'm like butting heads with and they're not getting results as a result. So that's no fun for me. And I don't know if it's fun for them or not, but it doesn't matter.
Jim, can you repeat those 5?
People that are open-minded, people that want help, people that want to grow, people that are willing to get out of their comfort zone, and people that do their homework. When I work with people like that, they can experience 50% increase in profitability, no problem. And somebody that's egotistical and knows it all, they might get 5-7%, kind of like their normal trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the question you wanted answered?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, very welcome. So who specifically needs what you are offering? Is open to getting help, can afford it, or values the results, benefits, and emotions they will receive more than the money? So on one side of this teeter-totter or scale is the value that you provide, results, benefits, and emotions. On the other side is their perception of the value of money. So our job is to find the people where the money, the time, the excuses are swept out of the way. What do they want, need, or love? What are their values? What motivates them? Who do you really want to work with? And who is most likely to buy your products and or services? Consider business versus individual, workers versus entrepreneurs, generation, age range, gender, behaviors, hobbies, religion, culture, education, locals versus tourists. And when you hear me say something like culture or religion or sex, this is not discriminatory. It's just saying what's so. So nobody's left out, nobody's discriminated against. The other thing is that close-knit groups, like certain cultures, like the Russian community around here or the Filipino community, just as examples, or Hispanic community, they can be very family oriented, very culturally oriented and connected. And you get a few people on board and you start getting referral after referral. So that's why I mention cultures, religions. Again, there's no judgment there. It's really just smart marketing.
I have something to say to that, Jim. I can.
Please.
With skincare, I think Russians really take care of their skin. And I have someone that I've been wanting to approach, and I haven't approached, but and they're very close knit. And if one uses a product, it's highly likely that others and their families and their sphere of
Absolutely.
community will use it.
Right. And they could be in your downline too if they really love the products and are,
Yes.
They can get free products and make money. Yeah, that's fantastic leverage. So going back to psychographics, here's some questions that might help. What is your ideal client afraid of? What are they tolerating? What's their pain? What's the biggest problem you can help solve? What have they tried but didn't work? How long have they been struggling with this problem? Those last three questions are fantastic for overcoming objections. Somebody says, oh, I don't have the money, I don't have the time. This isn't being mean, but this is coaching them to make their life better. And you can ask, what else have you tried to solve this problem? How long have you been struggling with this problem? How much do you think you've spent so far dealing with this problem and not having it solved? I can help you solve this once and for all. And if you don't believe me, I can give you referrals. But that's a way of dancing with objections. That's what those questions are designed for. And then what are their objections or resistance to allowing you to help them? What is their point of view and myths they believe around people in your industry? So that's good to know. Like in this area, in the Folsom, Sacramento area, years back, a lot of people were laid off from Intel and they decided to become business consultants without much training. And, I learned that coming from corporate to entrepreneurialism, it took me 5 years to learn what I didn't know that I didn't know and really become a decent coach. And I think that's what happened in this area. So people are skeptical about coaches, and there's good coaches, there's experienced coaches. People say they don't understand what the value of a business coach is. If I looked at my own perspective like I have experience where a lot of people are getting great results. I think it's obvious if all pro athletes and all Olympic athletes have a coach, why would an entrepreneur not have a coach? But it isn't that obvious to my market, and I need to know what their perception is so that I can market to them. So that's the psychographics, and that's what we're really trying to prepare ourselves for. How can we create our marketing material where we deal with objections right up front?
A lot of this coaching you're giving us is things I've heard before because I've been around for a long time, a lot of different coaching classes or, leaders are training, but it's always great to hear it again. And because it's something else that comes out that sticks now that didn't stick before. So that's why I appreciate listening to what you guys are saying, because it really does help me try to think, okay, what's going to be the objection for why don't, who's going to be my ideal client, customer, things like that. So,
Yeah, what's an aha you've gotten today for your business, Rick?
well, my thing was, like just what you just said. How long have you been, struggling with these problems? I mean, how long have people? I have a customer that I'm working with right now, and he truly knows how much it costs to have a guest come over to his house. He has his grandson come over to stay, and so he goes, it cost me $17 a day to have him come over. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to, get that worry off of his plate so he can just enjoy having his grandson there, not worrying about what it's going to cost him to have his grandson come to visit or his son or whatever. And I mean, that's not a way to live life, I believe. So I'm trying to help them out by reassuring them that there'll be peace of mind. I mean, they're going to have smaller bills, plus they're going to have, they can enjoy and be more comfortable in their homes. So, but yeah, that's kind of the aha for me. It's like I just have to kind of go in that with that approach. Like, how long has it been? How long have you been, contemplating this? Your bills. I mean, because they keep on going up. So
Yeah, that is such a horrible way to live. Like grandkids grow up so fast, and you really touched on a heart-based problem. I mean, obviously, this client values or has tremendous value on money, or maybe fear, um, and
that's and
that may or may not be your target market. But what you're really reinforcing for me is getting to know the client and asking quite open-ended questions to get to that heart-based
Mhm.
problem that you can really make a big difference in their life.
And it truly is the fear. People are fearful. Why do they hesitate so much when it comes to? I mean, it's a big expense to go solar in some ways. I mean, if they look at the dollar amount, I mean, we could break it down to monthly, where they're saving half their costs every month. If that's how they look at the bill, great. I mean, that's easier. But if they're looking at, okay, it's the product's going to cost me $20,000 or whatever, how many panels they end up getting, they may come back and say, well, maybe I can find it for 18,000. And that's been my struggle lately with the people saying, yeah, they want to go for it. And then they come back and say, I didn't really get enough quotes. And I can provide you different ones, but, I'm giving you the best that's here, in my opinion, that's going to be for you, to suit your needs. But I can't, I can't pull them through. I have to be able to let them make up their mind.
Absolutely. And it may be a good idea to show them, the other bids that you looked at to show that they're getting a better deal.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out if I should do that at appointments, bring a couple other bids so they can see this is the three I generated for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And the principle that we're dealing with there is they want the best deal, and they also feel like they want to feel like they did their due diligence. So
Right.
they don't have buyer's remorse. And so bringing a couple more bids, you're already doing them, so it wouldn't be any extra work for you, or maybe
Right.
print
Right.
out a little extra stuff. So that's a great idea. And the other thing is, in the solar industry, in this area, at least, there's been so many door knockers and I don't know. And there are companies that are unethical and they don't have the heart and the desire to really help people like you do. So just being aware of that it helps you with your approach.
I have a question. I don't know if it's too specific, but I'm just wondering, why is it $17 a day to have his grandson stay over?
Yeah, because this person, I'm not kidding, he actually turns off his water heater every day, and they shower in
Oh
their
my
motor.
God.
They shower in their motorhome because if he figured it's cheaper to light that tank up than it is to do his home. He also uses kerosene in his house, and the cost and smell of kerosene in your house is not really safe. And if he knocks it over, there's his house, and so
Woo.
he knows all these little things. He's gotten down to it, and so yeah, the dollar means a lot to him. But and then he has a spa that he doesn't use, and so he said that he would like to use it. So based on what I came up with, and I put more panels on his house just so he could enjoy life, and it still was in his ballpark. But you know, but then now I've gotten a stall for a week now, so I'm like, oh boy. So
Oh, we
Yeah,
used to
there's a
say,
lot of fear and scarcity you're dealing with.
yeah, so he says I can see where my grandson comes, how many kilowatts I use. Because I look at it, I'm like, gosh, you don't want to do that,
oh,
Yeah, and
say,
there's a difference between telling them this isn't a criticism, Rick, but just as an example, telling them, oh, you don't want to do that, rather than paint a picture of the future. So how would you like it if your grandkid came over and you had absolutely no worries? There's no additional cost. As a matter of fact, there's going to be less cost.
Yeah,
And then ask him, like, really go into that future. You as you can also go into the pain with people, like, what else have you tried? Like, this dude has tried everything to reduce energy costs. Like, he's done all that stuff and he's feeling this pain and frustration and scarcity and fear. And now you want to really implant in his mind the future that you can bring to him. So how would that feel? How would that feel to have no worries at all about your energy bill? And when would you use the spa? So really get him in that future with those kind of questions.
yeah, that's good.
Excellent. Great. Thank you for bringing that up.
There's another point too that I don't know, strikes me, and Rick, if you were to ask this man, I mean, obviously this man has a lot of other issues as well that he's not able to see, but if you were to ask him, how much time do you spend a day focusing on how to save money within the house? And if he were to be able to say, oh, I don't know, it's every waking hour, or if it's 6 hours a day, and if you were able to say, and if you charged $125 an hour, how much would that cost you every day to think about this? And maybe flip that value around to him. Maybe he would see that with a little bit of a different perspective, that he's serving as his own consultant and it's costing him $1,400 a day to think about all this. Just a thought.
Yeah, I know it's good.
Yeah, I love this group. Just great suggestions, great comments, great topics. So again, or just adding to that list of questions, now going to the opportunity side, what do they dream about and what goals do they really want to achieve? And that's kind of what we were just talking about, helping people not just visualize, not just logicize, not just the logical results, but what are the benefits and what are the emotions? How can they feel it? And how can they live into that future before they even start? Why do they want to change their life? What is, like you said, Corinne, what is it costing them? How long has it been costing them? How much more do they want to suffer? Like knowing what to do and not doing it is my definition of suffering. And a lot of our clients are choosing that.
And the health effects that it's going to take on him.
Thank you. Yes. Negative emotions affect our physical and emotional health. Absolutely. So again, to strengthen the psychographics, define the primary problem or challenge and how you can solve it, and or the big opportunity that you can help optimize for your target market. This will help you with your marketing content. How can you clearly define what their life will be and feel like after buying and using your products and services? So we're definitely not going to get to the USP, unique selling proposition, and market dominating position. But I will tell you that this is one of the key leverage points in a marketing plan, marketing strategy, and continue whittling this down using these questions and just try. Like if you have two ideal markets coming out of this exercise, two great ideas, try them both. And I bet you one's going to come out easier than the other. But it's really hard to have more than one target market. It's very, very hard. Because what sells, what draws people in, and what makes it easy to sell is them knowing that you're talking to them. They're like, whoa, how did Corinne know that about me? How did Jacob know that's exactly what I needed in my life? And it's that specific targeted message, grab their, how do you grab their attention? Specifically to them. So they're like, whoa, I got to read more. How do we relate compassionately to their problems? How do we specifically say what's in it for them, the results, benefits, emotions? And this target market, what would be a clear call to action that's like, yeah, are you kidding me? I'm going to give my name and my email and my phone number, no problem, to get started or to get the free giveaway. So see how this all weaves together into the tactics, into the messaging, into being able to follow up with people. Excellent. I love seeing everybody's heads nodding. Any more questions, comments? Thank you guys so much for being here. Another great session. And I will put up the calendar invite. And our guest speaker next time will be Misty Elmore. And we're going to learn a lot about leadership, hiring, leveraging our businesses with other people's help. And have a fantastic day.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks,
My
Jim.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Good session,
Take care,
Jim.
buddy.
Thank you.
Thank you.